matter what the conditions are. So up to this point, our guys have done a really good job of managing that.
I know we talked at media day about defense, and you look at the infield and those guys. Obviously, it's probably a team strength. I mean, how has that been at scrimmages? Have they been pretty clean, defensively?
We've been really clean until yesterday. I didn't think yesterday we just had a couple errors that was not characteristic of what our team has been. We're not like putting a starting 9 on one side and guys that could fill those roles on the other side. So we're mixing and matching. Yesterday Ryder was at short for one team, Norby was at second for the other team, just to continue to help those younger guys have some veteran experience on the other teams. So, but we've played really good defense up until yesterday, really consistently, which, as you know, you only put 9 out there. So some of the errors were not from the 9 that will be out there to start with on February 19th.
So what are your biggest areas of optimism? What do you really like about this team that you can kind of depend on as you almost enter the season here?
You mean we should be optimistic about our baseball program? I'm giving you a hard time. There's a lot of things to be optimistic about, but as I told our guys yesterday, and I want this to be the message to everybody, is I don't see anybody ranking us number 1. And a lot of polls have us ranked pretty low. So I don't know what your expectation level is as players, but my expectation level as a head coach is to win a national championship. And people probably look at me like I'm crazy. Well, you have never even been to Omaha. ECU baseball's never been to Omaha. Well, our goal is to win a national championship. And that's what we go out to try and do every single day, is have a national championship practice. So our strengths, look, we're deep on the mound. We're deeper than we've ever been, as probably 99% of baseball programs would tell you they're deeper on the mound than they've been in a long time with the reduced rounds in the Major League Baseball draft. We're experienced. I mean, every position player that's going to run out there on February 19th, minus Burleson, was probably the guys that you guys saw for the majority of the 17 games that we played. I think our leadership is as good as it's ever been, with Matt Bridges and Cam Colmore being in our program for 6 years, Tyler Smith 5, Jake Kuchmaner 4, Seth Cadell 4, and I could keep going on and on with naming, players. So those are a few things. And as we're talking about our defense is a strength. I think we're good offensively. No one person is going to replace Burleson, but we've got some pretty good hitters in our program. I mean, Bryson has been a beast so far. Seth's been a beast. Ryder's better. Franny's better. You can go around Norby's better than even what he showed in a very short amount of time. Agnos is better. So we're excited to go out there and see how we compare to other teams, but we want to always focus on ourselves. That's the biggest thing, as you guys always hear. I don't concern ourselves with the opponents that we're playing. I concern how well we're doing what we do at a high level. And if we do that, then we will win more games than we lose.
Coach, Gavin has had some bad luck with injuries in his first couple of years, and then last year obviously being cut short. Just how big would it be for him to step up and really take that Friday night role?
Gavin's had some misfortune, and he's dealing with some misfortune right now too. So I don't know if he'll be available for opening weekend, so we can go ahead and get that elephant out of the room. He has not thrown in a scrimmage yet. He has thrown bullpens and is getting better, but I don't know. He definitely won't start opening weekend. Gavin knows that, and our staff knows that, because we want to make sure to bring him along slowly so that we can have him. We'd rather have him at full strength at the end of the season than the beginning of the season.
Obviously, you have depth there. I mean, is that maybe the silver lining of Kuchmaner and Smith and, guys that have done that on the weekend before and easily could pitch opening day, I assume?
Yeah, everybody thought that, Gavin getting hurt last year was in the world, but we had a guy named Burleson that stepped up on Friday night. He was okay for us. So, look, I would say right now it's going to be between Tyler Smith and Cooch on Friday, and the other one will pitch on Saturday. Wisenhunt and Spivey have both pitched great, and they are pushing those other two guys. I mean, Carson Wisenhunt has given up 3 runs, and now this is dating back to the fall. He's given up 1 in 2 and 3, 5 innings this spring, and he gave up 2 in 15. So that's 3 runs in 20 innings. So he's pitched his tail off. Got really good stuff and has held his composure to this point. And Spivey looks like a veteran. He looks like he's going out there and he's walking around differently. You know, sometimes when you see guys have success in inter squads, you wonder, hey, is that going to happen when the lights come on? Spivey has a much different look about himself than he did his freshman fall. His freshman fall, even though he was having good results, he still was a freshman. Times he looked nervous. I mean, he is walking around with this quiet confidence that, hey, I know what it takes to be really a Friday night guy, and my stuff's good enough, and I'm going to stay in the present moment. I'm going to keep it simple. Those have been 2 of his keys so far. So I really feel great about our starting rotation, even if Gavin can't go. And Cam Colmore is another guy that could start, so if we needed him to.
Coach, when you have a lead in the 8th, 9th inning, is there a guy you want to go to every time if you could, or is that by committee? How about the bullpen, the closer role this year?
Well, Clip, we've never, you go back to Joe Engel. I mean, Joe Engel was considered, I guess, our closer early in the start of, I guess, when we got the job here in the summer of 14. But we would still bring him in the 7th inning if we had to. And I look at it much differently than maybe some, especially old school coaches do. We're going to bring our best arm in the most crucial situation, whether that's the 5th, 6th, 7th, 8th, or 9th inning. So few guys that will be in that role. Garrett Saylor is going to be a guy that's going to be in that role. Matt Bridges is going to be in that role. C.J. Mayhew is going to be in that role. A.J. Wilson. And to be honest with you, sometimes I forget to mention him just because we've got so many pitchers. But, I mean, he was lights out yesterday through 1 inning, and his team was up a run, and it was – guy got a single off of him but never flinched. I think he struck out 2 of the 4 guys he faced, and his stuff's been electric. If he can keep coming along like that, then there's another option, and, of course, Ryder Giles as well.
Coach Zach, he had a lot on his plate last year as a freshman. How do you think he's grown from that? And will he still be a two-way guy this year, or is it more focused on third?
Definitely more the focus has been on third, Stephen, just because he's a guy that we expect to run out to third base pretty much every single day. Now, can play short, can play second, so don't think that he will be stuck to third base only, because I keep talking about this guy, Alec Makaravich. We got to find a way to get him in the lineup. I mean, he has been crushing baseballs, hit a home run on Friday, and he can play all over the field. So we've got to figure out how we can get him on the field. But Zach has pitched, and he did not have good success in the fall. His slider was good, but he just got hit around. Well, him and Coach Dietrich have been working on his changeup, and I'll tell you what, this weekend his changeup was swing and miss. I think he threw 6 pitches in an inning, and that's all we threw him was 1 inning, and it was lights out. So he will pitch some, but he will not, be considered a starter, because we need him to play, on the infield every single day.
Coach, you had mentioned getting talented guys on the field. That's nothing new for you in this program. When you get to a certain level, you have so much talent. Have you perfected that yet, or is there a method to the madness of trying to get guys playing time?
Billy, we talk about it all the time with our players, because until February 19th, everybody gets to play. You split the teams up and everybody's playing, and nobody's having to sit in the dugout and wait their turn. But we do want to follow the example that Nick Saban talked about with his football program, is that we don't have backup players. We just have starters that haven't come into the game yet. And we have some guys that are going to be really good players that or will not be starting on February 19th. But as we know, a rolled ankle, a strained hamstring, a broken finger, whatever might happen, those guys got to be ready. But as we have done a good job, in my opinion, over the past few years, we play a lot of guys and we get guys in and just let them know that what their role is on each and every day. A lot of communication. Of course, everybody wants to play. Everybody wants to pitch on Friday night. Everybody wants to hit in the 3-hole, but a lot of communication. And, you know, a guy like Amac, I keep talking about him because I want everybody to know that he's going to play a lot for us. I don't know if he will be in the starting 9. If he keeps swinging the bat like he has been the past 2 weeks, then he's going to force my hand, and that's a good thing. So we're going to have a lot of guys that are be competing for playing time. But at the end of the day, I feel good about our guys wanting to win baseball games for East Carolina and whatever it takes to do that, which is a credit to our staff and our leadership among our older players that they care about winning baseball games more than what the individual accolades are. And I think that's pretty cool, especially in a time of society being, you know, in my opinion, sometimes can be pretty selfish, which is human nature.
Okay, do we got any other questions for Coach Godwin this morning?
You're not going to give me anything here?
I'm out of questions, man.
All righty,
You
guys.
did well.
Thanks for joining. Coach, appreciate it very much.
Thank you, guys. Thanks for your time.
Okay,
Go
talk to you
Pirates.
soon, Coach.